The theory goes that the soul, when it starts the incarnation cycle, splits into two. So twin flame is like your polar opposite and part of your soul. What happens is that we incarnate with our twin flame partner over and over and over and over. Okay, this is Mike Sigula from TruthTheory.com and welcome to another episode of True Spirituality. This is my series on metaphysics, esotericism, mysticism and spirituality. And if you're new here, please subscribe because this is already episode 33. Ooh-wee, 33. 33 is a master number in numerology, so I hope this video is gonna blow the internet. Maybe yes, maybe not, who knows. Anyway, this is a joke, little joke. But basically, if you are new here, please subscribe because we are covering all sorts of really interesting topics in metaphysics, spirituality, mysticism, esoteric concepts, teachings, anything from consciousness to higher self, starseeds, psychedelics, meditation, law of attraction, law of one teachings, a little bit of everything, and we are basically analyzing different teachings and how they work. What is the true nature of reality? So have a look at previous episodes. If you go to youtube.com/TruthTheory, there is a playlist there called True Spirituality where you can watch most of the episodes. And if you want to support this project, have a look at patreon.com/TruthTheory and consider becoming a supporter so I can create more videos. And basically you can send me messages on Patreon. I'm happy to give you some tips, advice, send me suggestions for topics that you want me to talk about. You can do it through Patreon as well, and have a look at different options there. And if you want to work with me on one-to-one basis, I'm doing mentoring and coaching online. So go to truththeory.com/coaching and send me a message, have a look what's going on there. Initial consultations free of charge, so you have nothing to lose. All right, so twin flames, what it means, what this term means, what is the difference between soulmates, why these relationships are so challenging. Let's get into it. I'm sure many of you have heard about twin flames, soulmates, etc. They are quite different. So soulmate relationship is typically a couple that had a couple of relationships together, and you incarnate and you meet again and you might get into a relationship, stuff like that. However, with twin flame relationship is a little bit different. So the theory goes that the soul, when it starts the incarnation cycle, splits into two. So twin flame is like your polar opposite and part of your soul. What happens is that we incarnate with our twin flame partner over and over and over and over. And sometimes thousands of times together. Sometimes you might not incarnate together for whatever reasons. It depends on your agreements before incarnation. Sometimes if you deviate too far from your path, your soul plan, you might not necessarily meet. Things like that, but a lot of us incarnate with our twin flame partner on Earth, and sometimes they apparently can be even your spirit guide. And it's a challenging relationship. It is. So let me kind of explain a little bit about it. So if twin flame relationship works well, it is like you have additional abilities extended. Imagine all the things, all these different areas that you lack. Your twin flame partner probably gonna have these areas developed. So if you work together, it's like you complement each other on these important things that both of you might lack, because together you are a whole, you are one soul, right? So typically you're gonna have things that are similar, like maybe your interests, your purpose, and things that's gonna be opposite, where you lack. And often maybe the degree of similar things might be a little bit different as well. So if you're male, you know, you might have a stronger tendencies towards some things, masculine things, and obviously the female is gonna be less of that, things like that. And because in a way you operate as a one soul, what might happen is that if you go too far in one direction, your twin flame's gonna reflect that. So let me give you an example. Let's say I've seen relationships where, you know, one person makes too much money and at the same time the other person is going through challenges, financial challenges. So whenever you are out of balance in something, the twin flame might reflect that, because it's like always some polar opposite to what's happening, and the other way around as well. And what might happen with your twin flame partner, you might have a lot of synchronicities, you might think about the same thing in the same moment, you kind of think about this person and she's calling you. That can happen quite a lot with twin flames. Let's say, I don't know, I've seen situations like that. You are supposed to meet somewhere in a busy place, busy street, and you decide to stop in this particular place, and your twin flame is coming exactly from this side of the road, for example, right? So you have a lot of these kind of synchronicities. Sometimes when you meet your twin flame for the first time in this incarnation, it might be very symbolic. It might be some very important alignment, like some, you know, could be, for example, your 9th year in your numerological cycle, like the year when things peak. Could be some kind of important alignment, astrological alignment. Could be very symbolic how you meet. So for example, you might meet at friend's wedding, and obviously wedding symbolizes union, wedding. So because you probably been married many times before, you attract this place as a place where you meet for the first time again. Sometimes maybe, you know, something to do with your passion or your work, because everything in the twin flame relationship is also about your purpose, right? We're gonna talk about that in a second. So very often where you meet in this incarnation is symbolic to the bigger picture here. You know, twin flame relationship is basically very often either goes really well, sometimes then it's very challenging. You might have an issue and not talk to yourself for a while again. It's kind of like up and down. Sometimes can go one way extremely well, sometimes can go the other way extremely unwell, whatever the word is. But one of the very important things is that you have your soul plan, you have your purpose here. You come here to do something, and typically this thing is gonna make you excited, right? So the more you align with your soul plan, the more likely you become compatible with your twin flame, because it's very much about purpose. You have a purpose and your twin flame often has a similar purpose, and there is a compatibility here. But if you deviate from your soul plan, you start doing something else, then you become less and less compatible with your twin flame. So for example, let me give you an example of that. I've seen a situation where one of the partners was kind of like, his true purpose was to become a doctor, right? And he met his twin flame, I think it was a twin flame, and that's what she wanted to do. But, you know, for whatever reasons, he decided to go a little bit different path, and then the relationship didn't work out because she really pursued this career, and things became a little bit rough, you know. She had to study somewhere else, so the relationship fell apart. So if maybe he would go towards the path that he really supposed to be doing, the relationship would also work. And now years later, he is realizing that he did not choose the right path. He went towards a different path in life that was kind of more materialistic, not so aligned with his true passion, with his true purpose. And he's noticing that this is not what he wanted to do. Like, he's thinking, oh, why I didn't go this way, you know? And if he would listen to his intuition, maybe the relationship would work out as well. It's very simple. Think about it. The more you are aligned with your purpose, with your passion, you do things from that perspective, right? Because opposite to that could be, I'm just doing things for the money, I'm only interested in that. So if you have more and more selfish reasons, and you often gonna compromise, not necessarily do exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and then you start attracting people that are similar, have similar things, that are also misaligned a little bit, for example. Not always, it depends on individual cases, but really it's about aligning with your true purpose, that you probably already start noticing what it is, or at some point you will, and typically at the same time your twin flame might appear, for example. So the more you align with your purpose, the more compatible you become with your twin flame. That's also important. So it's very important to be aligned with your soul plan, with your purpose, with your intuition, what you are here to do, because typically your twin flame will be on the same path, gonna have similar interests, and in a way you always, like I said before, you complement each other, so you have things to talk about, exchange, learn from each other, help each other in similar fields, things like that. And another interesting thing is that when you come here, you have your soul plan, you want to be doing specific things, and you have these mechanisms like your guides, predispositions, contracts, other things that help you to get on this path. And twin flame is another of these mechanisms, because the more you do what you're supposed to do, which is what your twin flame is probably doing as well, then you become more compatible with your twin flame, which a lot of us really want, right? We want to be with the ultimate partner, right? So this is another indication to follow your soul plan, to be aligned with your soul plan. I talk a lot about soul plan. Have a look at the previous videos if you're not really familiar with this term, but I made a bunch of videos on these topics already, so check out previous episodes as well. But in a way, this relationship can be very challenging. It's like a double-edged sword. It's either beautiful or ugly, sometimes fight with each other, you split, then you come back, things are beautiful again, it's like that. And there is another important element here. So for example, because you've been incarnating together probably many times, sometimes even thousands of lifetimes together, you build up a lot of karma between yourselves. So very often this will unfold somehow and make the relationship challenging. So it's always about this kind of clearing the karma between yourselves, back and forth, and to align, to be compatible. That's why it might be challenging, but this is also part of your journey. When you incarnate, you go through evolution as a soul. You try to become compatible with your second half, basically, and clear the challenges, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say in this incarnation, you met your twin flame and suddenly she left you for another person, or she hurt you, whatever, something like that, right? Normally, you would think, I'm just never gonna talk to her again, whatever, something like that, right? But actually what might happen is that you guys are repaying some karma here, and maybe you treated her the same way in your previous lifetime. So now if you repeat that, if you're gonna ignore her, never talk to her again, whatever, it actually, you are not learning, you are not evolving. You just repeat the same issues over and over until one day you're gonna decide to forgive her, and then maybe it's gonna start working, because these are some of the challenges that you keep bringing back and forth from previous incarnations. That's why I was saying it can be challenging, but it's important to be forgiving on both ends. Try to understand each other. Typically, twin flame relationship is like the most compatible in a way version of you, like someone you really see that, wow, we are so similar and so different, but it's completely uncomparable to any regular relationships, right? So sometimes it's really worth to be understanding, put more effort into it, try to make it work, not just like when the person hurts you, it might be something from previous karma, for example, and you need to be patient and forgive. And another thing is that you really need to have your intentions aligned, because it's very easy to disrupt that. So what I mean by that, so let's say you met your twin flame partner but you start spending time on like putting intentions into something else, like flirting with some other women behind her back or watching pornography or things like that, this is going to be disrupting the relationship in ways that you don't even know they are linked, because your intentions go into something else now, and which is conflicting here. That's going to create repercussions in your twin flame relationship. So you got to be pure, you got to be aligned, have honest, truth intentions. That's important to make it work. And finally, there is also another interesting element here, that you actually gonna have some guides that are often helping both of you. So for example, your higher self, it might be also her higher self, or it might be like her main guide. Higher self is your main guide, and very often your higher self is going to be helping your twin flame as well, even if you're not together. Sometimes you might have a secondary guide who is also helping both of you sometimes. So it's an interesting dynamic that actually you have guides that are assisting and know both of you, and they also want you to be compatible, and guides are here to help you to live your purpose, right? So they're often gonna try to help you and align you. They've seen you probably incarnating together maybe hundreds or thousands of times, so they get excited if you guys get together, because they're like family. So let me know what you think about it in the comments. This is like a general stuff here. Obviously everyone is different, there are different ways, different circumstances, different types of relationships. I'm curious if you've met your twin flame, you think you've met your twin flame. Let us know about it. Let me know about the challenges, if any of what I said makes sense, or you've experienced anything like that. And if you want to work with me on one-to-one basis, I'm doing mentoring and coaching, also help in relationships. So check out TruthTheory.com/coaching and get in touch. And if you want to support this project, go to patreon.com/TruthTheory and become a supporter, so we can create more and more content. So thank you for checking another episode of True Spirituality. Until next time.